Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous, rainy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are ready for this fantastic Thursday. Faithful for 20 years. Are you willing, is the question. Are you willing to be faithful for 20 years? And I know coming off of Valentine's Day, you may be thinking I'm talking about in a marriage. And I'm not talking about in a marriage today. I'm talking about in any endeavor or goal or dream or idea that you are believing that you are committed to obtaining or pursuing. Let me say that again. Any goal or dream that you believe you are committed to obtaining or pursuing. Are you willing to be faithful for 20 years? Why do I ask that? Because most people are not really willing to be faithful for 20 minutes. Very few people are willing to be faithful for 20 days, let alone 20 months. God forbid, 20 years. And I say that because this is the difference maker between someone who has an interest and someone who has a commitment. If you would like to be inspired or inspire those in your family or around you, I challenge you to go rent or buy the movie Rudy about Rudy Ruettiger and his commitment at 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing pounds, to go to Notre Dame with bad grades and dyslexia and play football for the Fighting Irish. You'll learn a little something about long-term commitment. So what is the conversation about today? Quite frankly, this is a conversation about folks who want the results of years of effort and focus, yet who are unwilling to put in the effort and focus long term. Let me take you to a short story real quickly to bring this home. So the pastor that married Angela and I, Larry Sargent, his wife Lynette, Fountains of Living Water, they married us 24 years ago. We would have traveling ministers come to the church to teach and share, and it seemed like I was always the guy being picked out of the crowd, maybe because I had long hair, tattoos, and hearing, among other things. I was a little wild child. I always got picked out by these guys that would say nearly the identical thing. They would say, God has a major calling on your life. You're going to affect thousands of people. You're going to be called to the marketplace to touch leaders and transform regions and cities with a nationwide calling and a nationwide empowerment to deliver what he wants you to deliver. Many people from around the world came over a series of, a good 7, 8, 9 years and said this same thing. I did not even know how to spell the word entrepreneur. Early in the beginning, when I started getting these encouraging directional statements that, by the way, confirmed big stuff that was inside of me. It wasn't like, wow, this is freaky. Where's that coming from? I was like, holy cow, how did these guys know what was in my heart to do? So it was confirmation for me. It wasn't a weird thing. It was confirmation. I mean, come on, let's just put it this way. If a guy's walking with God and that's what he does, that's his job, you would think maybe he has something to say to you about the living God. You know, he ain't a statue or a robot or some kind of idea or some kind of freaking weird energy that doesn't have a form and doesn't have an ability to communicate. So that's just another story for another time. So here's what happened. I was so fired up, so excited, so pumped about what was being said. I asked my pastor very clearly, Pastor Larry, you've heard all these words, you've heard all this stuff these guys are saying about me. Will you train me and will you release me? Will you train me and release me and send me out to do what these guys are saying? Because I'm pumped and I'm ready, baby. Now you got to remember I was maybe 26, 27. And he said, I absolutely will, Steve. I absolutely will. It's my pleasure. I will take that responsibility to help train and prepare you for this calling. I said, fantastic. Pastor, how long are we talking about, baby? Are we talking about what? A month, 2 months, 3 months? What are we talking about? 6 months? What are we talking about here, Pastor? And he looked me in the eyes like this. He looked me in the eyes and nonchalant, no joking, no playing, no little whatever, looked me in the eyes and said this. About 20 years, Steve. And then words came out of my little tiny little mouth that confirmed why I was not yet ready for that type of a release, okay? I said some things you shouldn't say to anybody, let alone your pastor, right? Because I was mad, I was upset, I was Daniel-san in the backyard of Mr. Miyagi doing my wax on, wax off, paint up, paint down. When are you gonna let me fight, Mr. Miyagi? I had lots of zeal about that much wisdom. You guys follow what I'm talking about? He said 20 years, Steve. Now, what I did not know at that time that he knew at that time that I know now at this time in my life with those who are entrusted to my leadership and care is this. Great gifting without great character is a recipe for disaster. You will destroy with your character what you build with your gift. Your gift and talent may open the door, but only your character and integrity will keep you in the room. And character integrity is not something that grows on you, and it is not something that just happens to show up. It is forged in the furnace of affliction. It is forged in the furnace of challenges and tests and trials and temptations and ideas on compromise and unfaithfulness and wavering and shortcuts and all of the things that would make the journey easier by way of a shortcut. You see, character and integrity is earned through making tough, many times sacrificial decisions and choices over a very long period of time. And when I was offered the role to choose to step away from the Collins Group and place that baton in the worthy hands of Miss Christina Weston, I met with my pastor and looked at the timeline when the elders and friends in the church prayed for me to send me into this new role 2.5 years ago, and it was year 20 and a half. 20 and a half. I joked with him that day. I said, Pastor, you said it'd be 20 years. It was 20 and a half years. And my pastor, in his beautiful John Wayne loving voice, said, well, son, I can't help it if you're a slow learner. And I love that man because he had the character, integrity, and the wisdom to say, it's available to you, yet I will not put an Uzi in the hand of a 3-year-old. I will not release heavy gifting without heavy character and integrity. And you don't get that 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. You get that over time. Year 20 and a half, 20 years and 6 months to the day, I stepped into this coaching role and made the commitment to make the videos daily. And I love what my precious bride Angela says. She goes, baby, it's amazing. It only took you 20 years to be an overnight success. I love it. So my question to you is this. Do you believe you have something inside you? Do you believe there's more to you than you're currently manifesting? Do you believe that you could be used for great things? And what do you mean by great things, Steve Collins? Let me tell you great things. I make these videos daily to reach one person. That's it. I'm looking for one person. That's it. I'm not looking for the numbers. I'm not looking for the fame. I'm not looking for people to recognize me or call me. In fact, I absolutely love the fact that there are people who cannot stand me, because that means I am in my purpose, in my destiny, in my call, being who he called me to be, not wavering under the cloak of fear for what other people may think about me. I don't give a lick that people don't like me, because the people who need to hear the truth are listening to what I'm saying, and it's changing lives one life at a time. I just need one person a day. If the good Lord sees fit for it to reach more than one, boom, great, I win. If one person a day is touched. One a day, that's all I want. One a day, that's all I need. One a day, That's my focus. If one person receives what I have to say, then I won the day being faithful. So my question to you is this: can you be faithful for 20 years? Are you willing to be faithful for 20 years? Are you willing to put the time and effort and energy and sacrifice into the daily activities required for you to ultimately reach the dream and desire that is in your heart? You can shortcut the system. You can shortcut the process. You will likely not remain or grow from that point forward. Were there many times I was tempted to shortcut the process? Always. Were there many times that I was tempted to compromise? Always. Were there many times that I was tempted to make major life-altering decisions and mistakes in times of massive weakness and pain? Always. That will always be there. And so my question, are you willing to be faithful for 20 years? Are you willing to put in the time for 20 years? Are you willing to develop what can only be developed over a long period of time? Can you handle the weight of your gifting with your current level of character and integrity? Or at the first sign of massive temptation, would you be a target easily taken down? You know in your heart. You know in your heart. So what is my encouragement to you today? My encouragement to you today is this: get a long-term vision. Get a long-term focus. Put your heart and your mind towards something that is going to take a long time to manifest. Because here's the good news. Do you plan on being alive 20 years from now? Well, if you plan on being alive 20 years from now, guess what? It's still going to be 20 years from now, whether you put in the time and the work or you don't. It's still going to be 20 years from now. 5 years from now, it's still going to be 5 years from now, whether you put in the work or you don't. The old Chinese proverb, there's two great times, the best times to plant a tree: 100 years ago or today. You've got to start somewhere, sometime, if it's important enough to you. So I'm attempting to pull out your wussiness. I'm attempting to pull out your wimpiness. I'm attempting to shut down your whininess because of the frustration that accompanies long-term commitments when the feelings wane and disappear and all that's left is your dog-determined commitment. And that, my friends, is what develops the character for you to be able to maintain and withhold and ultimately grow the amazing gift inside of you that the good Lord will use in service to other people if you will do your part. It's partnership, y'all. He will not do your part, and you cannot do his part. I pray you choose today to be willing to put in the time and effort and the energy long term to become all you were created to become, so that you can be the blessing to this planet you were created to be. Have a great day, guys.